I'm addictive and expensive. Byron Wilcott. And I'm watching WGS-TV.
Hello everyone, welcome to another installment of WGS-TV right here on YouTube.com/WrestleGamer and ZFX-TV. Guys and gals, don't forget WGS-TV can also be heard on SoundCloud as well. And this is going to be the Monday Night Raw review for the week of December 8th, 2014, the Slammy edition of Monday Night Raw. And I gotta say, what a lot of the categories, especially when it came down to Superstar of the Year, it sparked quite a bit of controversy because a lot of people felt one way about one superstar who should have been selected for Superstar of the Year as opposed to the person who was actually selected. But then again, everyone is also entitled to their own opinions, and that's what WGS-TV is all about, people sharing their opinions, not facts, opinions about the wrestling industry. So let's go ahead and get the ball rolling on the review, so to speak. And joining me this week on the review, ladies and gentlemen, from YouTube.com/LanceMoss-TV, he is the incomparable Lance Moss. Lance, how you doing?
Pretty good, and I'll explain what the whole controversy was about, because I've seen a video of it. The app was kind of weird when it came to that for Superstar of the Year. We'll get to that when we get toward the end of the review.
Well, on Monday Night Raw, which was hosted by Seth Green, I gotta say, Seth Green, always good to see him. He's always funny, always entertaining, and we'll get to the entertaining part when we get to that point in the show. They open up with Seth Rollins and Dolph Ziggler. This could be a main event for a pay-per-view, in my opinion. Yeah. Because these two guys are just so unbelievably amazing when it comes to their work ethic, the way that they work the match, everything that was done. A lot of people were kind of saw the fact that the J&J security is probably what they're called now. For one thing, I'm actually glad to see Joey Mercury and Jamie Noble actually have on-screen roles now in the WWE, albeit, they're just playing security guys, but former WWE superstars. I mean, Jamie Noble, former Cruiserweight champion, Joey Mercury, former tag team champion with John Morrison and Melina when they were known as M&M. So. But yeah, it was just a little bit predictable about what they were going to do with that one right there. But we would then transition, Lance, to the first award, the This Is Awesome Moment of the Year, and I have to agree for the winner, the debut of Sting, because when Sting debuted at Survivor Series, everybody was talking about it.
That's right. I mean, screw Kim Kardashian. Sting broke the internet that night.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Because everybody, from every YouTuber, any person who does a wrestling podcast was talking about Sting's debut in the Survivor Series. Now, the reason why they're talking about it, because it was such a big deal. Yeah. Actually, I had a few people at the recent MSX show saying, well, did you mark out over Sting showing up in WWE? And my answer to that was, well, I can neither confirm nor deny, but I was just screwing with the guys at the time. Yeah, but yeah, a lot. You can't be a true wrestling fan and not mark out over the fact that Sting showed up in a WWE ring when he has vowed so many times in the past that he wasn't going to show up in the WWE ring because he kind of disagreed with the direction Vince McMahon was going. But I'm going to save that for a later discussion, guys and gals, because I don't want to go too far off track as we go to the next match. Kofi Kingston and Stardust. WWE started kind of pitching this whole thing of the New Day versus Golden Stardust. I guess Golden Stardust, being the heels, they wanted to kind of be like part of the darkness in a sense, because it's the stars and the sky and the dark matter and cosmic and shit like that. I really don't know where else to take that, Lance, but that's the way this seems to be going.
Yeah, Cody Rhodes takes too much ass. And I can't decide whether the New Day's good or bad right now. If it's a good or bad gimmick, I can't decide yet, man.
Well, I think the idea of it is like I've said it before, especially for their debut, that they were we knew that they were grouping them together, but they just didn't have a gimmick. They didn't have a solid gimmick for the group, and now with the New Day, they kind of have that gimmick, but now they're starting to integrate that gimmick into a storyline, into an angle, and that's what they're trying to do right now with Gold and Stardust, and I kind of see potential in the New Day.
They can go one or two ways for these groups, and it's still in that in-between period where it's either going to be really good or
3MB. Yeah. And to me, honestly, I think the gimmick has potential. I just don't want it to get the 3MB treatment.
Exactly.
Because like I said, I'm not saying these guys are bad wrestlers. I'm not saying these are bad talents. I mean, it's Kofi Kingston, multiple-time Intercontinental Champion, multiple-time United States Champion, Tag Team Champion. We also got
Mr. Royal Rumble nowadays.
Whenever he's in a battle royal,
exactly.
That's his element, because every time he's in there, whether he wins or loses, he puts on an entertaining match. No matter what he does, no matter what the situation is, it's always entertaining to see Kofi Kingston in a battle royal, because you never know what you're going to see out of him. Xavier Woods, very, very talented, especially when he was Consequences Creed in TNA. And Big E, former Intercontinental Champion, and he's right on that precipice of being a very entertaining star. Right on that precipice, and I think the New Day gimmick can actually give him that leap he needs to break out into being an entertaining star, because he's done some entertaining stuff, with the New Day gimmick just being debuted and being that kind of fresh for WWE fans. He's done a lot of entertaining stuff so far. So, yeah. But then again, that's kind of my take on the New Day. Kofi Kingston would hit a crossbody on Stardust to pick up the win. Up next, surprise return of the year, and I gotta say, the Ultimate Warrior. Out of respect, deserve that, honor the memory of, Jim Hellwig. For the longest time, I really didn't have any respect for the dude, because for one thing, I thought he was on acid. And the fact that he also legally changed his name to Jim Warrior Hellwig. Legally changed his name to Jim Warrior Hellwig. But, I got to respect the guy. He did, despite, some of the things I said, I can't disagree with the fact that he made an impact on the wrestling industry as the Ultimate Warrior. So my hats off in respect to the Hellwig family. And the Ultimate Warrior name does deserve to be in the Hall of Fame as it is, and deserves to have that surprise return of the year. Nobody to this day would have figured that the last appearance of the Ultimate Warrior on a Monday Night Raw, that the next day he would pass away. Nobody. You even go back to the video of the interview I did with The Rocket, and he pretty much said the same thing. Nobody saw that coming, and to me it was like he was staying alive, and he was here to tell his side of the story. And once his story was out there, it was like, he's done, I'm done, time to go home. And that's what happened. So, but I like the fact that he got that award, Lance. I really do.
Yeah.
But anyway, following that, we would have, I thought this was big in my opinion. I really did. Charlotte, the NXT Women's Champion on Monday Night Raw. And Lance, you can back me up on this. I've said this for the longest time, that we need to see more of the NXT Women's talent on Monday Night Raw, because they actually, Charlotte, this is one thing I told my twin sister Jenny when we were watching Monday Night Raw, is the fact that Charlotte does not wrestle like a diva. She wrestles like a female wrestler.
Well, she's a legacy.
Yes.
And she also wrestled another legacy. For those who don't know, Charlotte's real name is Autumn Flair, I believe.
I think so.
and she wrestled Natalya Neidhart, which the Flairs versus the Flairs versus, let's just call it the Hearts. How much what do you want? Personally, they had a better match on NXT, but I guess I had to tone stuff down for Raw, but whatever.
Yeah, the overall matchup in itself, I thought it was good. The finish, it kind of felt like when she was countering the sharpshooter into the small package, that she was kind of overextending and kind of guiding Charlotte into the small package in a sense, that, she was putting the sharpshooter, but the way she was positioning her body and picking herself up when she was back on the mat, it was kind of indicating that Charlotte wasn't going to put the sharpshooter on her, that this was going to be a counter, and Natalya was going to get the win, and that's exactly what happened. That's the only thing I didn't like about that match. Everything else was great, and take notice that pretty soon that I hope we see Charlotte on the main roster, and WWE, get this through your thick fucking skulls, not to tone down her moveset. That's all I'm saying.
And please don't stick her in her dad's robes. Because that would be way too much living on the past. Not that there's wrong with the living on the past, just the little woos coming in the ring, that's okay. But in robes and stuff, that's a little much.
Yeah, because I really don't think it would feel right to call her the nature girl. I really don't. But anyway, following that, we would have the OMG shocking moment of the year. And as much as I dissed, and I still diss to this day, Brock Lesnar, I kind of agree with the selection of Brock Lesnar conquering the streak at WrestleMania. And one would have to figure, Lance, that, regardless of what the year would have been, if it would have been this year, next year, last year, or any year, the year that the streak would be conquered at WrestleMania would automatically be the shocking moment of the year, because nobody expected the streak to end. Everybody expected the Undertaker streak to last, and it just didn't.
Yeah, I mean, you were there, but in the call, at the WrestleMania call that I do with most of the guys in a hardcore wrestling radio and here on WGS-TV, that 3 went down. It went silent, and we don't shut the hell up for anything.
And it did in the Superdome as well. I mean, the entire area, the entire Superdome was quiet. And for once, with my positioning in the Superdome, I was quite far away from the ring, so I couldn't tell at first, because I first thought that this was a botch by the referee, that the 3 wasn't supposed to go down, and because we never heard a bell after the 3. I never heard a bell. But apparently they're saying that the 3 happened, and Brock Lesnar defeated The Undertaker, and the streak was over. But anyway, following that, we would have Bray Wyatt kind of responding to what happened both on Raw with Dean Ambrose breaking Sister Abigail's rocking chair, and the attack he did to Dean Ambrose on SmackDown. And I'm going to call him for what it is, because the first person I ever saw do it was Matt Hardy to Jeff Hardy. And I could possibly even go further back than that, maybe Undertaker to one of the Hardys, because it was something I've seen before. The thrust of the chair, placing the chair in the neck and thrusting it down. It's something that we've seen already. So let's just call it a Hardy move. Whether it's Hardy administering it or one of the Hardys felt it, needless to say, a Hardy has basically been behind it. Then next thing you know, we hear an ambulance come. Dean Ambrose appears out of the back of the ambulance, and why there was so much smoke out of the back of the ambulance is a mystery to me. Maybe they're having a little party time, and we weren't notified about that, or maybe even Rick had a stash in there and was sharing it with Dean Ambrose in the back of the ambulance.
Billy, I have a theory on why. I think Jack Swagger was driving the ambulance. Just
with R-Truth, maybe, and maybe Matt Sydal as a passenger. But anyway, they basically got out a confrontation to it, and again, it was just a big old bill for TLC and their match Diva of the Year. You know, for me, Lance, it was a toss-up between AJ Lee and Paige, in my opinion, because I knew for hell one of the Bellas wasn't going to get it. If Cameron would have got it, I would have fucking threw my shoe at the damn TV. And Naomi, maybe not. But to me, it was down to AJ Lee and Paige. I'm not going to disagree with the fans choosing AJ Lee, because AJ Lee is indeed a really good female talent, despite what some people might say about her moveset. Andy. I don't know. That's just my thoughts on it, Lance. What were your reactions?
Why the hell was Titus O'Neil behind them?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what was going on with that. I thought that was just utterly ridiculous. I think it might have been just a botch. But I'm pretty sure Titus.
He's meant to be there. Because it takes a lot of effort to cover that big son of a bitch.
Yeah, pretty much. Now, match 5, we would have, next we had Eric Rowan and Luke Harper. Again, to this day, it's hard to imagine that they actually broke these two apart, and they're actually turning Rowan face, in a sense. His music is still creepy as hell. But the finish of the match would come down to Harper ramming Rowan into the ladder, causing disqualification, and then just looked like when Harper was getting the advantage on Rowan, Rowan would turn it around with the steel stairs, and man, all I'm going to say is I'm really looking forward to, because we have never seen a steel stairs match before in the history of wrestling. I mean, I've seen scaffolding matches, I've seen tables matches, ladder matches, chairs matches, TLC matches. Nobody's seen a stairs match, so it's going to be really interesting to see how they work this. An LOL moment of the year. I got to say, Damien Mizdow with the stunt double, to me, was the best choice. And the way, you got to admire the way that they're making Miz and Mizdow kind of play this off, because, they're recognizing the fact that the fans want Mizdow, and the way that Miz is just playing off of that and just kind of taunting them, kind of dangling the carrot there, in front of them, like, hey, we got Mizdow here, but I'm not going to let you talk to him and whatnot. I got to say, I think that's a brilliant move on Miz and WWE's part, because, again, you're kind of dangling that carrot. The fans want it, but you're just not letting them have it just yet. And to me, I think that's a smart move, because the way the things are supposed to be going, Lance, Miz is supposed to have heat on him, and by doing this, it achieves that.
Yeah, even though the funniest part was him going to, what's his name? Like, call me.
Yeah, exactly. But I got to say, I think that's the appropriate choice. Rusev and Lana would go in the ring to talk about Zeb Coulter, which would lead to Jack Swagger and Rusev in confrontation. Also, the announcement that Rusev would defend the United States title against Jack Swagger at TLC. And they really made Jack Swagger look strong on Monday Night Raw, Lance, especially with what he did to Rusev, going after the ankle of Rusev. And 9 times out of 10, when we see someone go over on the Go Home show, traditionally wrestling logic kind of dictates that you wouldn't go over at the pay-per-view. Do you kind of agree with that?
Yeah, very much, because just Swagger don't seem out of the doghouse yet. Just starting to poke his head out of the doghouse, not quite out of there just yet. I think he's going down at TLC.
Yeah. Yeah, the possibility is there, but you never know. WWE has surprised everybody in the past, so you never know what, in what direction they're going to be taking that. 6-man tag action following that. Usos and Ryback taking on Corporate King, Miz, and Damien Mizdow, with Seth Green on commentary. The commentary seemed to be more in direction of Seth Green for some reason. It didn't seem too much to the match. But then again, that's probably with me being a commentator myself. Maybe I'm just being overly critical, or maybe not. Commentary has really sucked in professional wrestling in 2014, to be honest. Ryback would hit the shell shock on Miz to pick up the win. And the entertaining part we were talking about with Seth Green would go in the ring and actually attempt to raise the hand of Ryback in victory, and just couldn't do it, Lance.
They was, oh God, don't eat me.
But yeah, but then the Usos would pick him up, pick Green up on their shoulders in a celebratory fashion, and that's pretty much how they ended that. Match of the year, one of the big awards that actually sparked a lot of controversy, because for one thing, I kind of agree and disagree with the selection for match of the year, and that's Team Cena versus Team Authority at Survivor Series. For one thing, one of the reasons I majorly call shenanigans on that, Lance, I mean, for one thing, where was Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins at Hell in a Cell? Why wasn't that selected? Why wasn't the main event at WrestleMania 30, which was huge by any standards, and it got an incredible pop at the end with Daniel Bryan winning the championship from the crowd? Why wasn't that selected as match of the year? Now, I can understand, the importance of Team Cena versus Team Authority. It was kind of ending the Authority gimmick, the Authority storyline, and the appearance of Sting, which is in huge in any shape and any facet in the wrestling industry. But come on, I mean, Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose in Hell in a Cell stole the show. The main event at WrestleMania 30 was huge. Why didn't those matches get it, Lance? What do you think?
I don't know, but I was like, what the hell? Honestly, Survivor Series, I've seen way better. It was a good match, but one of the best, I don't think so.
Not the best of the year.
But I just don't know. I was thinking, where the hell is that Hell in a Cell match myself?
And also, if I think back correctly, before they had the turn of the Shield, I think it was. I'm trying to remember what was because they did it at the pay-per-view in February, the Shield versus the Wyatt family. I'm trying to remember. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, because I know it was Royal Rumble. I know they don't do No Way Out anymore.
Chamber.
But the Elimination Chamber. Yeah, they did that. They did. Didn't they do Shield versus Wyatt's at Elimination Chamber? Why wasn't that match up for contention for match of the year? I mean, just the huge anticipation. The two big factions at the time, the Shield and the Wyatts, everybody wanted to see, these two factions explode at each other. And even before the matchup was started, the fans were chanting, "This is awesome." So why wasn't that match up for contention of the year? There's a lot of matches that a lot of fans feel should have been selected or even up for contention for match of the year, and WWE just didn't give them that opportunity. I think they probably wanted to stick more along the lines of the story of the fact that the Authority is gone, that the Authority gimmick is done, finito, and they wanted to keep that fresh in everyone's minds for some reason. So I probably think that's probably why they got selected for match of the year. Following that, we would have AJ Lee and Summer Rae. Nothing really special there. AJ Lee locked on the Black Widow on Summer to get the victory. And I even said this on Facebook, Lance, the matchup with Charlotte and Natalya was way better than what they did here.
Yeah.
Agree to disagree about that?
Yeah. I have my own personal preferences for AJ, but that's just me. I like what I like.
Hashtag?
That ass.
Exactly. Following that, we would get a couple of awards. Here we get Extreme Moment of the Year. Personally, I would have thought Dean Ambrose going through the cinder blocks would have been it, but apparently went to Chris Jericho with the crossbody on Bray Wyatt off the top of the steel cage. But then something I found interesting was the fact that Fandango would come out and actually accept the award. Now, we know Chris Jericho's going to be hosting Monday Night Raw next week, so it kind of looks like they're trying to start another angle now with Fandango and Jericho again, Lance. Wouldn't you say? Just the face palm, right? Yeah, that's pretty much it. But anyway,
now.
Yeah, even with the change of the gimmick, sort of, Fandango, it's pretty much not going to work. And now the Superstar of the Year. One of the awards that, again, sparked a lot of debate, a lot of controversy, especially on the WGS-TV Facebook page, because a lot of people were saying, even you said it yourself before we even started the call. We were talking about the Slammys and the fact that Roman Reigns was selected as Superstar of the Year, and a lot of people are they're saying that Roman Reigns doesn't really deserve it because of the fact that he's been gone since August. It happened right before SummerSlam, because he was supposed to have that matchup with Seth Rollins that they did on the previous Monday Night Raw. And all of a sudden, Roman Reigns gets hurt and can't have the matchup anymore at SummerSlam that they had on Monday Night Raw, which I thought was kind of weird in a sense. But a lot of people were saying, why didn't Bray Wyatt get it? Why didn't Dean Ambrose get it? Why? I'm pretty sure it would have sparked a ton of hatred from the Cena haters out there if John Cena would have gotten it. Randy Orton, possibly the same thing. I'm not sure. But, the one thing that fans really are up in arms about is the fact that Roman Reigns got it. And we can't really deny the push and the work that Roman Reigns has done in 2014, Lance, regardless of the fact that he got injured in August, and you really can't hold that against him, because nobody wants to get injured, nobody wants to miss working in WWE. I'm pretty sure Roman Reigns never planned on getting that back injury, but regardless, I still think that Roman Reigns, in my mind, kind of deserves it, because he's had in my mind, a stellar year. Barring the thing in August, you can't deny the fact that he had a stellar year in 2014.
True, but the thing that made people complain is a couple of the selections. It was like one name. It was had its own, I guess you call it, button or icon. Then it was like two names had the same. One name, then the two had the same, and one name down here. And it was Rollins, Reigns, and Daniel Bryan were in one of them. So it was like, it just didn't. It seemed like the fix was in. Is why people are complaining.
Do you think if Daniel Bryan would have been selected for Superstar of the Year, people would still be kind of, up in arms about the fact that Daniel Bryan has missed well over half of 2014?
Since it's Daniel Bryan, I'm not sure on that one. Because he has a huge fan base. Let's face it.
And Roman Reigns has a growing one himself.
True. I'm just not sure. If Cena would have won, all hell would have broke loose. Billy, I know you're a Cena guy. All hell would have broke loose.
Yeah. Even I will admit that, because a lot of fans are still, Cena's dull. He's, we've seen the same thing. Even though he draws, he makes money for the WWE. And, there's the old saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And as long as John Cena's making money for WWE, they ain't going to fix that. They ain't going to change that gimmick. Well, we're going to change from a money-making gimmick to a not-so-much money-making gimmick. People in WWE have to be pretty stupid to kind of listen to the fans and change John Cena's gimmick when John Cena's current gimmick, even you will admit this, Lance, is making them money.
True.
So, as long as you're making money in the business, then WWE will use you. And that's what they're doing. So, but following that, we would also have the main event, John Cena versus Big Show. It was kind of barring from what happened at Survivor Series at Big Show's turn. And, man, that heel turn happened real quick. I mean, the fans really turned on Big Show in a hurry. Seth Rollins would interfere, causing a disqualification. John Cena would get the victory, and it just turned into a big kind of brawl and such, and that's pretty much how the ended Monday Night Raw, with kind of Seth Rollins going over. WWE.com would have some of the rest of the Slammys, and I figured we'd go ahead and give them a mention on here. The Tell Me You Just Didn't Say That award, Rock would win that one for insulting Rusev and Lana. Tag Team of the Year, the Usos, kind of agree with that, even though I would think Gold and Stardust would have been. probably the next best one, in my opinion. Breakout Star of the Year, Dean Ambrose, yes.
Yes.
Hands down, yes. Cannot disagree with that as well. And he was also up for Superstar of the Year, and that would have been something. He would have won Breakout Star and Superstar of the Year. That would have been a first, in my opinion. Fan Participation Award, the resounding chant. For some reason, the hashtag RKO out of nowhere got it. I don't understand that, because it also had a hashtag Occupy Raw, a hashtag Moscow Moose Knuckle from The Rock, hashtag Eat Sleep Suplex Repeat from guess who, and hashtag 999 for the WWE Network. Double Cross of the Year, Seth Rollins turning on the Shield and joining the Authority. I kind of agree with that. Nikki turning on her sister Brie. Mark Henry turning on Big Show. That was too predictable. And I think the only one that really deserved it was Seth Rollins turning on the Shield, because nobody saw that coming, Lance. Nobody. So I think that's why it deserved it. Another Fan Participation Award. I don't know why they have this twice, but I guess probably the first one was supposed to be hashtag of the year, and this one's the chant of the year. The winner was You Sold Out to Seth Rollins. NXT Superstar of the Year. It's hard to say, in my opinion. Sami Zayn would get the win on this one, but Adrian Neville is really. It would have been a toss-up in my mind, Lance, between Adrian Neville and Sami Zayn, because both of those guys could deserve that, in my opinion. Anti-Gravity Moment of the Year. Seth Rollins dives off the balcony at Payback when that won. Even though I think Adrian Neville's Red Arrow finisher should have been at least up. At least it's up for contention.
Yeah.
Best Twitter handle went to Dolph Ziggler with Heel Ziggler. I don't even know why they had that, to be honest. Best Actor, The Rock. Faction of the Year, which oddly enough, The Shield. Even though the Wyatt family could be right in there. Why the fuck the Rosebuds are in there, I have no idea. Animal of the Year. Animal of the Year, the Bunny got it. I don't even know why WWE. I think WWE just did that to have a filler. Best Couple of the Year went to Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella. Rivalry of the Year. Shield and Evolution was right up there. So it was Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, but it went to Daniel Bryan and the Authority. And Raw Guest Star of the Year went to Hugh Jackman, even though I thought Larry the Cable Guy was pretty freaking funny, and so was Betty White. And if I do remember, she had that little trick she did on the New Age Outlaws where it made Billy Gunn have to go crap his pants. But anyway, that's pretty much it. Overall score on Monday Night. Overall score on Monday Night Raw this week. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. It was a lot better than what they did last week. Last week's Raw was kind of a snore. It was kind of dull. Kind of felt a little, listless in a sense. That everything was just going out there to go out there. There was no really spark. There was nothing really entertaining. This week's Monday Night Raw was actually entertaining to watch. There was a lot of good spots. There was a lot of good matches. Seth Green being there did a good job. The Slammys kind of added that air to make it a little bit better. So, because a lot of fans, when you start talking about certain parts of Monday Night Raw, that's when you know that a Monday Night Raw is good, when you start talking about it more. And we definitely have talked about it a lot more this week than we did last week. So, best match of the night. I gotta say, going up and down this, I really liked Seth Rollins and Dolph Ziggler, despite the interference of J&J Security. Rowan and Harper was indeed another really good matchup, but when I go through all this, I'm definitely I'm gonna go to Rollins and Ziggler, because I thought it was a great match. And again, whenever you see Dolph Ziggler work with someone, he makes the person he's working with that much better. Ziggler can work with anybody and make it into a really great match. He worked a match with Rusev that made Rusev look really good in that match. So, and that's saying something, because normally we see just kind of one kind of side of matches from Rusev that really aren't that very entertaining. And Ziggler and Rusev was actually entertaining to watch. But worst match of the night. I hate to do it. I hate to say it, but I have to. And it's nothing against AJ Lee and Summer Rae, but I have to go that because the matchup just didn't entertain me. And normally, I see better out of AJ Lee whenever she's working in a match, and I just didn't get that out of her when she was working with Summer Rae. Now, maybe it's because it was the person she was working with, because Summer Rae, when she was just going around the ring, it just kind of felt, I don't know, that she didn't belong in there, because I don't think she does. But maybe it's just WWE toning down their moveset, like I've said already. But I have to go to that. And it pains me to do it because I like AJ Lee. I know AJ Lee is a good talent. But the matchup just wasn't good, in my opinion. Lance, over to you. What's your overall score and your picks for best and worst match or segment of Monday Night Raw this week?
Overall, I got to disagree with you on score. I got to give it a 3 because it's like the matches almost took a back seat to the Slammys. Me.
In a sense.
A little bit. And that, to me, in a wrestling show, they should be about here, or if not a little above the other segments, because it's a wrestling show. That's just my personal opinion. Although it was a pretty good show, but best match, I gotta agree with you, Ziggler and Rollins. And best segment, I gotta give it to Dean Ambrose and Bray Wyatt. Worst match really wasn't one. They just wasn't a whole lot of them that stood out to me.
Yeah.
As bad, but
yeah, but that's pretty much how the ball rolls, so to speak, here, guys and gals. So what we want to know now from you guys out there, the viewers and subscribers, your thoughts on Monday Night Raw this week. What are your overall scores? What are your picks for best and worst match or segment of Monday Night Raw this week? Do you agree with the fact that Roman Reigns was selected as Superstar of the Year? Do you agree with the fact that Team Cena versus Team Authority was Match of the Year? Or do you have a different opinion about that? We definitely want to know what you guys have to say. So make sure you put your comments in the comments section below. Don't forget to like and favorite this video. Lance, what can fans expect to see when they come visit your channel over on youtube.com/LanceMossTV?
album reviews, NASCAR discussion videos, redneck woman cooking videos, musical equipment reviews, some rants, sometimes having to respond to Billy sometimes if he makes me have to do it, and starting in the beginning of next year, I will be having the archives of controversies and scandals from HWR on my channel. And if you hadn't subscribed, you don't remember to subscribe.
If you're listening to us on SoundCloud, be sure you hit that follow button, and also don't forget to follow me on Facebook, facebook.com/WGS-TV, and don't forget to please subscribe to youtube.com/WrestleGamer and youtube.com/ZepXTV Network if you haven't already. So for the incomparable Lance Moss on Lance Moss TV, I am the WrestleGamer, Double B Billy Boutro, saying thank you very much for watching.